Your mind is the ultimate battleground, and the war is between your potential and your limitations. The difference between those who rise and those who stay stuck is not intelligence, talent, or even luck. It's mindset. Your thoughts create your reality. The way you interpret challenges, setbacks, and even your own emotions dictates the quality of your life. When you master your mind, you master everything. But let's get one thing straight. Left unchecked, it can be your worst enemy. It will whisper doubts, magnify fears, and replay failures on a loop until you start believing them as truth. It will drag you into dark places if you let it. But here's the secret. You don't have to listen. You don't have to accept every thought as fact. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts, and that means you have the power to change them. Highly intelligent women understand this. They don't allow their emotions to dictate their actions. They don't let fleeting moments of insecurity define who they are. They recognize that emotions are just signals, and those signals can be controlled, redirected, and even transformed into fuel. Negative emotions aren't the enemy. The enemy is believing that you're powerless against them. So how do you take control? First, you must become aware of your mental patterns. If you've been feeding yourself the same limiting beliefs for years, they've become automatic. I'm not good enough. What if I fail? What will people think? These thoughts are not reality. They are habits. And like any habit, they can be broken. When a negative thought enters your mind, don't just accept it, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this true? Where is the proof? Who would I be without this belief? The moment you question a limiting thought, its power over you begins to crumble. But awareness alone isn't enough. You have to replace the old programming with something stronger. Your brain believes whatever you tell it repeatedly. If you tell yourself you are unstoppable, guess what? Your brain starts looking for proof. If you tell yourself you are capable, resilient, and worthy, your brain will align with that truth. This isn't about empty affirmations. It's about rewiring your reality. You must speak with certainty. You must feel it in your bones. You must act as if it's already true. And soon it will be. Now let's talk about fear. Fear is a liar. It tells you that you're not ready, that you'll fail, that you should stay where it's safe. But fear is just excitement without breath. The same physical response you feel when you're afraid, racing heart, sweaty palms, adrenaline, is the same response you feel when you're thrilled. The only difference is the label you attach to it. When you feel fear, don't shrink, expand. Don't retreat. Lean in. Tell yourself, this is excitement, this is my moment, because fear is not a stop sign, it's a green light. Your physiology plays a massive role in your mindset. If you've ever noticed how your posture changes when you're feeling down, shoulders slump, head down, shallow breathing, you'll understand how your body and mind are deeply connected. But here's the hack. It works both ways. If you stand tall, breathe deeply, and move with energy, your mind will follow. You can't feel weak when you move powerfully. You can't feel defeated when you adopt the posture of confidence. Change your body and you change your state. And let's be real, negative emotions will come. You can't eliminate them completely, but you can decide how long they stay. The secret is momentum. When you feel yourself slipping into negativity, don't wait for it to pass. Take action, do something, anything that shifts your state. Put on music that fires you up. Go for a run. Call a friend who lifts you. Read something that inspires you. The fastest way to break out of a mental funk is through movement. Stagnation fuels negativity, but action kills it. Highly intelligent women don't allow their circumstances to dictate their mindset. They take full responsibility for their emotions. They don't wait for motivation. They create it. They don't sit in self-pity. They rise. They train their minds daily, just like an athlete trains their body. They understand that mastering their mind is the foundation of mastering their life. And the truth is, this isn't about just feeling better. This is about power. This is about freedom. Because when you master your mind, nothing, not doubt, not fear, not failure, can hold you back. You become unstoppable. You become the woman who walks into a room and owns it, the woman who decides every single day that she will not settle for anything less than the life she is meant to live. So the question is, are you ready to take control? Are you ready to rewrite the story? Because your mind is either your greatest weapon or your biggest weakness. And you are the only one who gets to decide your mind as a storyteller, constantly crafting narratives about who you are, what you're capable of, and how the world sees you. These stories shape your reality, whether you realize it or not. If the story in your mind is one of self-doubt, fear, and limitations, then that's the life you'll live. But if the story is one of power, resilience, and possibility, then nothing can stop you. The challenge isn't the external world, it's the internal script playing in your head. And the good news? You have the power to rewrite it. For many women, especially highly intelligent ones, negative narratives can be even more ingrained. Intelligence often comes with heightened self-awareness, which means being hyper-aware of imperfections, failures, and possible shortcomings. The more you analyze yourself, the easier it is to get stuck in a cycle of self-criticism. Thoughts like, I should have known better, why can't I get this right, or what if I fail, become default responses. The brain, designed for efficiency, plays these thoughts like a well-worn track, reinforcing them until they feel like truth. But truth and repetition are not the same thing. Just because you've thought something 1,000 times doesn't make it reality. To break free, you have to consciously step in and challenge the narrative. The first step is awareness, catching yourself in the act of self-sabotage. When you hear that inner voice whispering, you're not good enough, stop and ask, is this absolutely true? Where is the evidence? Most of the time, you'll realize there is none. The thought is just an old reflex, a mental habit that no longer serves you. But awareness alone isn't enough. You have to replace the thought with something stronger. If the old narrative says, I always mess things up, the new one must say, every mistake makes me wiser and more powerful. If the old narrative says, I'm not as good as them, the new one says, I bring something unique to the table that no one else can. It's not about blind positivity. It's about building a new mental framework based on reality and possibility rather than fear and limitation. The next step is reinforcement. The brain learns through repetition, so the more you affirm your new narrative, the more it sticks. This isn't about reciting affirmations without feeling. It's about immersing yourself in your new reality. Say it out loud, write it down, act as if it's already true. The way you speak to yourself matters. If you constantly tell yourself you're tired, overwhelmed, or not good enough, your brain believes it. But if you tell yourself you are strong, resourceful, and resilient, your brain aligns with that truth. The language you use internally creates the world you experience externally. But rewiring your narrative isn't just about words. It's about action. The mind believes what the body does. If you tell yourself you are confident, but shrink away from challenges, your brain won't buy it. But if you step up, take bold action, and prove yourself in real time, your mind has no choice but to adjust. Every time you face a fear and push through it, your brain rewires. Every time you do something uncomfortable, your narrative shifts. Every time you take ownership of your power instead of waiting for permission, you reinforce the truth that you are unstoppable. Emotions play a big role in narrative shifting. Highly intelligent women often overanalyze their feelings, giving negative emotions more weight than they deserve. But emotions are not facts. They are temporary states influenced by thoughts, physiology, and external factors. Just because you feel unworthy doesn't mean you are. Just because you feel fear doesn't mean you're in danger. The key is to observe emotions without attaching to them. Instead of saying, I am anxious, say, I am experiencing anxiety. Instead of, I am failing, say, I am facing a challenge that I will overcome. This slight shift in language detaches your identity from the emotion, giving you the power to navigate it rather than be controlled by it. The environment also plays a critical role in rewriting your narrative. If you surround yourself with people who reinforce your old limiting beliefs, your progress will be slow. But if you choose to be around those who see your greatness, who challenge you, push you, and remind you of your strength, you accelerate the shift. Pay attention to the conversations you engage in. Are they fueling your new narrative or keeping you stuck in the old one? Energy is contagious, and the more you expose yourself to empowering environments, the faster your mindset transforms. Ultimately, the story you tell yourself determines the life you live. If your narrative is one of limitation, you will unconsciously create a life that reflects it. But if your narrative is one of strength, possibility, and resilience, you will step into a life that aligns with that truth. Every great transformation begins with a new story. The question is, are you willing to let go of the old one and claim the narrative that leads to the life you deserve? Your mind and body are in constant communication. Every thought you have creates a physical reaction, and every physical movement you make sends signals back to your brain that shape your emotions. This connection is so powerful that simply shifting your posture, breathing, or movement can instantly change your mood, focus, and confidence. If you feel tired, sluggish, or overwhelmed, your body mirrors that state. Your shoulders slump, your breathing becomes shallow, and your energy drops. But what most people don't realize is that this works in the other direction too. If you deliberately change your body, you can change your mind. Think about the times you felt unstoppable, when you accomplished something big, when you were truly in the moment, when you felt powerful. Your body was different in those moments. You stood taller, breathed deeper, moved with energy. Your voice had more certainty. Your presence commanded attention. It wasn't just your mind making you feel that way. Your body played a massive role. When you move with confidence, your brain takes that as a signal. I am confident. When you sit up straight and take a deep breath, your brain registers, I am in control. And when you smile, even if you don't feel like it, your brain releases chemicals that make you feel happier. This isn't wishful thinking, it's neuroscience. Your physiology dictates your psychology, and by learning how to control it, you can master your emotions. One of the fastest ways to shift your mental state is through breath. The way you breathe directly impacts your nervous system, either fueling stress or creating calm. When you're anxious or afraid, your breathing becomes short and shallow. Your brain interprets this as a sign of danger, triggering even more stress hormones. But when you breathe deeply and deliberately, you send a different message. Your nervous system shifts from fight or flight to rest and recover. Just a few deep breaths can lower your heart rate, clear your mind, and bring you back to a place of control. Try this. The next time you feel overwhelmed, inhale deeply through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and exhale through your mouth for 4 seconds. Do this a few times, and you'll notice an immediate shift in your state. But breath alone isn't enough. You have to move. When you feel stuck in negativity, stress, or doubt, and your body wants to stay still, you might sit in one place for hours, replaying the same thoughts. The problem is this stillness reinforces the mental state you're trying to break out of. The solution, move. Physically disrupt the pattern. Stand up, stretch, go for a walk, dance, jump, do push-ups, anything that changes your posture and engages your body. When you move with energy, your brain shifts gears. Motion creates emotion, and even small movements can have a massive impact on your mindset. One of the most powerful tools for shifting your psychology through physiology is your posture. Pay attention to how you carry yourself when you're feeling uncertain or defeated. Do you shrink, cross your arms, look down? Compare that to how you stand when you're feeling confident and in control. There's a reason powerful people take up space, stand tall, and move with purpose. It's not just a reflection of their mindset, it's shaping it. If you want to feel more confident, start by standing like you already are. Shoulders back, chest open, head high. This isn't just about appearances, it's about training your brain to associate that posture with certainty and power. Athletes understand this principle better than anyone. Before stepping into competition, they don't slump over and tell themselves, I hope I can do this. They prime their bodies for victory. They jump, stretch, breathe deeply, and take strong stances. Why? Because their bodies are telling their minds, I'm ready. If this works for elite performers, it works for you. Before stepping into any high-pressure situation, a meeting, a presentation, a difficult conversation, take control of your physiology first. Stand up tall, take a deep breath, and move with certainty. Do this and your mind will follow. Another game changer is facial expression. Research shows that even forcing a smile can trigger the release of dopamine and serotonin, two chemicals that boost your mood. When you frown, your brain associates it with sadness or frustration, reinforcing those emotions. But when you smile, even in difficult moments, your brain gets a different message. This doesn't mean faking happiness. It means using your physiology to hack your psychology. Try it right now. Smile for 10 seconds. Even if you weren't feeling particularly joyful before, you'll notice a shift. Your body just told your brain, I'm happy. And your brain responded accordingly. Energy is contagious. The way you carry yourself influences not only your mind, but also the people around you. Have you ever walked into a room where someone's energy was so powerful it lifted everyone up? Or on the flip side, where someone's low energy drained the entire atmosphere? That's physiology at work. If you want to influence others positively, start with your own state. When you walk into a room with confidence, people notice. When you bring energy, people respond. When you control your physiology, you don't just shift your own mindset, you elevate everyone around you. This is why movement is such a powerful tool for breaking out of negative emotional loops. If you're stuck in your head, if you're replaying a failure, if you're feeling overwhelmed, the worst thing you can do is stay still. The best thing you can do is get up and move. Shake it off, go for a run, hit the gym, dance like nobody's watching. Physical movement releases endorphins, boosts energy, and forces you out of whatever mental fog you were in. There's a reason why after a workout you feel unstoppable. Your physiology has shifted and your mind has followed. This principle also applies to voice and speech. If you speak in a weak, hesitant tone, your brain picks up on it. But when you speak with certainty, when your voice is strong, clear, and deliberate, you program your mind for confidence. Pay attention to how you speak when you're nervous versus when you're excited. The speed, tone, and volume of your voice all affect your state. The next time you need to step up, practice speaking with power. Even if you don't feel 100% confident yet, act as if you do. Your brain will catch up. Ultimately, the key to shifting your psychology is taking control of your physiology. You don't have to wait for motivation. You don't have to wait to feel good before you take action. You take action first and the feeling follows. Too many people wait for the perfect moment to start, waiting until they feel confident, waiting until they feel ready. But confidence isn't something you wait for, it's something you generate. And the fastest way to generate it is through movement, breath, posture, and energy. So the next time you find yourself stuck in negativity, don't just sit there and analyze it. Move, change your breath, change your posture, change your facial expression, and watch how quickly your mind follows. Your body is the most powerful tool you have for mastering your emotions. Use it, control it, own it. And when you do, you'll realize that you are never at the mercy of your feelings. You are in charge of them. Your physiology shifts your psychology, and when you master that, you master everything. Life is a series of patterns, patterns of thought, patterns of behavior, patterns of emotion. The way you react to situations, the way you speak to yourself, the way you handle challenges, it all follows a script that has been run in the background for years. Some of these patterns serve you, pushing you forward, making you stronger, but others, they keep you stuck, repeating the same struggles, feeling the same frustrations, experiencing the same disappointments. The problem isn't intelligence, talent, or capability. The problem is the pattern. And the moment you recognize that, you regain power, because patterns can be broken. And when you break the pattern, you change the game. Negative emotions, self-doubt, and limiting beliefs don't just appear out of nowhere. They follow predictable loops. Something triggers you, a comment, a failure, a rejection, and instantly your mind starts running an old script. Maybe it's a belief that you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, that you always mess things up. Maybe it's a habit of withdrawing, overthinking, or procrastinating. Whatever it is, it's not new. It's a well-rehearsed routine your brain has played 1,000 times before. The longer you stay in it, the stronger it becomes, but just because it's automatic doesn't mean it's unchangeable. The key is recognizing the moment it begins. You can't change a pattern you're not aware of. The second you feel yourself slipping into that negative cycle, pause, catch it, interrupt it. Ask yourself, wait a minute, is this thought real or is this just an old script? Most of the time, it's just a habit. The mind is efficient. It sticks to what's familiar. But familiar doesn't mean true. Just because you've thought something 100 times doesn't make it reality. The moment you realize that, you weaken its power. But recognizing the pattern isn't enough. You have to actively break it. And that means doing something completely different, something unexpected, something that shocks your system out of autopilot. If your usual response to stress is to shut down, break the pattern by blasting your favorite song and singing at the top of your lungs. If you normally overanalyze every decision until you talk yourself out of it, break the pattern by making a bold move without overthinking. If you tend to doubt yourself every time you step into a challenge, break the pattern by saying out loud with full conviction, "I've got this." You don't wait until you feel like it, you do it first, and the feeling follows. The body is one of the most powerful tools for interrupting mental loop. Your brain and body are connected, and motion creates emotion. When you move differently, you feel differently. That's why physical action is one of the fastest ways to break a mental rut. If you're feeling stuck, get up and move. Go for a run, jump up and down, take a cold shower, shock your system into a new state. It's impossible to stay in a mental slump when your body is in motion. But movement alone isn't enough. You also have to shift the internal dialogue. The words you use shape your experience. If your inner dialogue is full of phrases like, "I always fail," "this is too hard," or "I'll never be good enough," you're reinforcing the very pattern you want to break. Change the language and you change the experience. Instead of, "I can't do this," say, "I'm figuring this out." Instead of, "I'm stuck," say, "I'm leveling up." Instead of, "I'm not good enough," say, "I am becoming unstoppable." The words you speak internally are programming your brain. Speak like the person you want to become, and your mind will catch up. Breaking the pattern also means disrupting external habits. Your environment reinforces your mindset. If you're surrounded by people who complain, doubt themselves, or settle for less, their patterns become yours. If your daily routine keeps you in the same loop of stress, exhaustion, and frustration, it's time to shake things up. Change your routine, change your surroundings, change the conversations you engage in. If you want a new outcome, you need new input. One of the most powerful pattern breakers is making a decision. So many people stay stuck because they hesitate, they overthink, they wait for the perfect moment. But highly intelligent women don't wait. They decide. The moment you make a real decision, everything shifts. A decision means cutting off any other possibility and committing fully. It means burning the bridges to doubt, hesitation, and procrastination. It means telling yourself, "This is happening no matter what." That kind of certainty shatters old patterns and forces new ones to take their place. It's important to understand that breaking patterns isn't a one-time thing. It's a practice. The old loops will try to come back. The brain likes familiarity even when it's painful. That's why awareness is everything. The more often you catch yourself falling into the old cycle and disrupt it, the weaker it becomes. Over time, the new pattern, the one that empowers you, strengthens you, and moves you forward, becomes the default. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Every time you break the cycle, you're rewiring your brain, training it to operate at a higher level. Imagine a version of yourself who never lets fear, doubt, or negativity hold her back. Imagine a version of yourself who doesn't just recognize patterns, but shatters the ones that don't serve her. That version of you is not a fantasy. She is real, and she's waiting for you to step up. The only thing standing in the way is an old script that no longer belongs to you. Are you ready to rewrite it? Because the moment you do, the game changes. And once you change the game, there is no going back. The people you surround yourself with shape your mindset, your energy, and ultimately your life. Human beings are wired for connection, and whether you realize it or not, you absorb the emotions, habits, and thought patterns of those around you. If you're constantly around people who complain, doubt themselves, or settle for mediocrity, their energy will start to seep into your mind. You'll find yourself second-guessing your abilities, seeing obstacles instead of opportunities, and feeling drained instead of driven. But when you surround yourself with people who elevate you, who challenge you, inspire you, and push you to be better, everything shifts. Their energy lifts you. Their mindset expands yours. Their belief in themselves ignites your own. Energy is contagious. Walk into a room where people are excited, passionate, and full of life, and you can feel it. That energy is electric. It wakes you up. It makes you think bigger, move faster, and operate on a higher level. But the opposite is also true. Spend time with people who are constantly negative, fearful, or stuck in self-doubt, and their energy will pull you down like an anchor. It happens slowly, almost unnoticed, but over time you start thinking smaller, feeling more exhausted, and questioning yourself in ways you never did before. This is why who you spend time with is one of the most important decisions you will ever make. The first step is awareness. Pay attention to how you feel after interacting with certain people. Do you leave conversations feeling motivated, clear-headed, and ready to take action? Or do you walk away feeling drained, frustrated, and stuck? This isn't about judging people. It's about recognizing patterns. Some people fuel your fire and some people dim your light. The key is to spend more time with those who elevate you and create distance from those who don't. Energy lifters are the people who make you think bigger. They are the ones who see potential in you even when you doubt yourself. They push you to grow, to stretch beyond your comfort zone, to take action when you feel like hesitating. They don't just listen to your dreams. They challenge you to make them happen. They don't let you settle for excuses. They hold you to a higher standard, not because they expect perfection, but because they believe in your greatness. These are the people who remind you of your strength when you forget it. They are the ones who say, you've got this, the exact moment you need to hear it. But finding these people isn't just about luck. It's about being intentional. You attract what you project. If you want to be around high energy, driven, and passionate people, you need to embody those qualities yourself. You need to show up with enthusiasm. Take ownership of your mindset and bring value to the relationships you cultivate. Like attracts like. If you want to be in the presence of winners, you need to think, act, and operate like a winner. Sometimes elevating your circle means making difficult choices. There may be people in your life, friends, colleagues, even family, who are deeply embedded in their own negativity. They see problems in every opportunity. They talk about dreams but never take action. They reinforce limiting beliefs instead of challenging them. While you can't always cut these people out completely, you can choose how much time and energy you invest in them. You can set boundaries. You can decide that their fears are not your fears. Their doubts are not your doubts, and their limitations are not your limitations. You don't owe anyone your energy if it costs you your growth. Elevating your environment doesn't just apply to people. It applies to everything you consume, the books you read, the podcasts you listen to, the content you engage with. All of it shapes your mindset. If you spend hours absorbing negativity, drama, or meaningless distractions, your mental energy will reflect that. But if you intentionally feed your mind with powerful ideas, inspiring stories, and knowledge that expands your thinking, your perspective will shift. You'll start seeing opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You'll start believing in yourself at a deeper level. Proximity is power. When you put yourself in spaces where people are thinking bigger, acting bolder, and achieving at a high level, you absorb that energy. This is why masterminds, networking events, and personal growth communities are so powerful. They immerse you in an environment where success is the norm, where challenges are seen as stepping stones, and where the conversations revolve around solutions, not excuses. When you surround yourself with people who refuse to settle, you start to embody that same mentality. If you don't yet have energy lifters in your immediate circle, create them. Seek out mentors, coaches, and like-minded individuals who inspire you. Engage in conversations that challenge your thinking. Read biographies of extraordinary people. Listen to motivational speakers who fire you up. Surround yourself with greatness. Even if it's through a book, a video, or a podcast, the more you expose yourself to powerful energy, the more it becomes a part of you. At the end of the day, your environment either fuels your growth or stunts it. The people you choose to be around will either push you toward your potential or keep you anchored in your past. Choose wisely. Your energy is too valuable to be wasted on anything or anyone that doesn't elevate you. And when you make the decision to surround yourself with energy lifters, everything in your life rises to match that frequency. Pain is an inevitable part of life. It comes in many forms: emotional, physical, psychological. But it is a universal experience that no one can avoid. It can arise from heartbreak, failure, loss, betrayal, or the overwhelming weight of life's challenges. Pain can feel like an insurmountable mountain, a heavy burden that weighs you down and leaves you feeling powerless. But the truth is, pain isn't a force meant to destroy you. It is a powerful tool that can transform your life if you choose to see it that way. The key is not in avoiding or denying pain, but in learning how to turn it into something powerful. When you learn to harness pain, it can become the very force that propels you toward your greatest strengths. The first step in turning pain into power is changing your relationship with it. Too often we view pain as something to be feared, something that signals weakness or failure. We see it as a sign that we're on the wrong path or that something has gone terribly wrong, but pain is not the enemy. It is a signal, a messenger, telling you that something needs attention. It could be a signal of growth, a sign that you are stepping out of your comfort zone, or an indication that you are confronting something deep within yourself that requires healing. Pain is not a permanent condition. It's an experience. And just like any experience, it can be transformed through perspective and action. Rather than seeing pain as something that happens for you, pain can be the greatest teacher you will ever have. It forces you to confront your limitations, your vulnerabilities, and the stories you've been telling yourself. It pushes you to go deeper, to ask tougher questions, and to discover the parts of yourself you may have been avoiding. It is through facing pain head-on that you begin to uncover the layers of strength and resilience you never knew existed. One of the most powerful ways to turn pain into power is through reframing. Reframing is the act of taking a situation or experience that feels negative or debilitating and shifting your perspective on it. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Or why does this always happen to me? Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this experience make me stronger? Pain often arises because something in your life is not aligned with your true purpose or your highest potential. It could be the end of a relationship, the loss of a job, or the feeling of inadequacy after a failure. But if you shift your focus away from the pain itself and toward the lesson, you create an opportunity for growth. Pain can also be a call to action. It's often in our most painful moments that we are forced to make a change, to take a different path, or to break free from old patterns. If you are going through a difficult time, you may feel stuck, overwhelmed, or like there is no way out. But the truth is, pain often signals the need for reinvention. It may be an invitation to let go of what no longer serves you, whether it's a toxic relationship, a limiting belief, or an outdated version of yourself. The pain you feel is the universe's way of nudging you toward a new chapter, one that will lead to greater growth and fulfillment. When you embrace pain as a catalyst for change, you begin to move through it with purpose. Another key to turning pain into power is to embrace vulnerability. It may seem counterintuitive, but allowing yourself to feel your pain fully without resistance gives you the strength to move beyond it. When we try to numb our pain or avoid it, we end up strengthening its grip on us. But when we allow ourselves to feel it, to express it, and to be open about it, we can begin to release its hold. Vulnerability is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength. It takes great courage to face your pain head on and allow yourself to heal. Through vulnerability, you find connection, you find empathy, you find the courage to step into your authentic power, is taking ownership. Often, when we experience pain, our first instinct is to blame external circumstances or other people. While it's true that some pain comes from outside of ourselves, we always have a choice in how we respond to it. The more we can take ownership of our emotions and our reactions, the more control we have over the healing process. This doesn't mean blaming yourself for things that are out of your control, but it does mean taking responsibility for your mindset and your actions. Ask yourself, what is this pain teaching me about myself? What part of me needs to grow? What is my next step? When you take ownership of your pain, you give yourself the power to transform it. The power of pain is also in its ability to help you build resilience. Resilience is not something you're born with. It's something you develop by facing challenges and growing through them. Every time you endure a painful experience, you build emotional muscle. You strengthen your ability to handle future setbacks. You learn how to rise, even when it feels impossible. This is what makes pain so powerful. It teaches you how to stand strong in the face of adversity. As you go through life, you will undoubtedly encounter more pain. Some will be minor, like a difficult conversation or a disappointing outcome. Others will be much more significant, like the loss of a loved one or the end of a chapter you thought would last forever. But with each experience, you have the opportunity to choose how you respond. You can allow pain to break you, or you can allow it to transform you. The choice is yours. One of the most profound ways to turn pain into power is by using it to fuel your purpose. Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs come from our deepest struggles. The pain we experience often gives birth to our greatest passion. It shapes our mission, our values, and the impact we want to have on the world. Think of the most inspiring people in history. Many of them faced unimaginable pain, yet they used it as a driving force to create change, help others, and push humanity forward. When you align your pain with your purpose, you give it meaning. You transform it into fuel for your journey, allowing it to propel you forward instead of holding you back. Turning pain into power is not an easy process. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to embrace discomfort. But with the right mindset, pain can become a powerful catalyst for transformation.